It's going to go on my timeline now, officially live. And then we'll be sharing this. We'll share it to the game of networking. We'll share it. I'll go on right here. If you guys are just joining us, whether you're watching the live or the replay, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And then we're going to listen to this incredible rock star that I've had the great privilege of knowing for years and years and years. Ricky, how long have we known each other?
Probably 7-8 years, almost the entire time I've been in the industry, I think. I mean, at least I've known about you since day one.
That's just crazy how long we've known each other. All right, I just shared it. We're good. We're official now. Got the good stuff.
Thanks for having me on, Rob.
You're welcome. So the reason why I'm excited to talk with Ricky is, first off, he's a friend, known each other. We go do lunch like every year or so, catch up. Hey, what are you up to? What are you up to? What are you doing? What are your secret sauce tips to solving all of network marketing's problems and make things happen? And then from there, it's just fun. It was fun following this guy's journey. It was fun seeing this guy's philosophy. It was fun seeing this guy's always hustling. He's in the trenches. He understands the income producing activities. And so, Ricky, you've had a wild journey. So why don't you give him the quick 1 minute recap or 2 minute recap, whatever, of your background and all that. And then after that, I want to get into the art of launching, because distributors sign up other distributors, leaders launch teams. So I love talking about this topic. So I'm excited to dive into that after we go through this. But if you're watching live, drop live below. If you're watching the replay, drop replay below. And Ricky, tell us about you, man.
Oh man, so I'll make it very, very fast, because Rob said, hey, you got 20 minutes, and that's okay because I talk really, really fast. But make a long story short, I was 20 years old at the time. I was trying to impress this girl, so I bought this expensive car. And when I was driving it on the freeway, literally off the lot, just bad luck, a rock came flying from under the motor, and it fried my motor like 5 minutes after I'd driven it off the lot. So it was a little bit crazy. It was sad. So I was left without a car. So I was walking back and forth from work for 2 weeks. On my way back home, when I was walking one day, this Escalade pulls up. One of my buddies that I did not know at the time, he was a stranger. He said, hey man, it's really hot outside right now. Do you want to ride? I said, sure. Hopped in the car. I see this magazine and I start going through it, and he's on every page. So I'm like, what do you do, bro? And he was like, oh, I teach people how to make money. I was like, hey, I got no car. I need to make money. And so he was like, well, come to a meeting tonight. And that's how I got started in network marketing. I had no idea what it was. But that day, I was not only carless, but I dropped out of college as well that day. And I quit my job and I went full time in the industry. It was not the best decision, so I don't encourage that, but I went full time from day one. So it's been a 10-year career for me so far.
You and I both. I think we're just delusionally optimistic, man, because I looked at it and I'm like, my first check was huge. And I just thought, wow, this is way easier than I thought. And so I ended up quitting my job way too soon. And then my second, third, fourth, fifth months in the business, I'm like, what the crap did I do? But I'm grateful now because it taught me, and I had to learn how to do it learn quickly because I had to be able to make ends meet. But I'd love to hear some of your top tips in regards to how you specifically launch teams. Because as I said, distributors sign up other distributors. Leaders launch teams. And so I want to hear, like, what are some of your top tips when people are like, oh, like, I'm really good. I signed someone up and then I don't get any duplication, or like, I can't ever get a hold of them again, which does happen no matter what. So give us the secret sauce goods.
For sure. When you go full time, man, and your back's against the wall and you have to make money, right? Like you're forced to launch. I'm not saying that you should go do that, but at the time, of course, I was single, no kids. So if I was making $500 a month in network marketing, I was balling out of control. Right. And then when I got married, started having kids, I was like, I'm in trouble. Right. And so that's when my back's against the wall. No matter what I do, I have to start popping income right off the bat. Okay. And I'll run you through a little story, because I just got done launching a company December 1st. And in the first month of December, we put in over 1,000 orders. And so when you look at that, people are like, oh, well, this guy's got experience. He does this or that. Here's the thing. I always build databases from scratch. I always start from zero. I never bring over teams. I leave teams where they have to be, where they want to be, because just because you got to go on a new journey, man, doesn't mean you have to go out and bring your team with you just because you caught some other vision, right? And so I've never been the guy that believes that, hey, we have to go out there and bring our team over. So I started from scratch. And the way I did it was when I launch, I go through 3 phases, right? And my phase number 1 is the warm-up phase. The warm-up phase is when I go on a blitz for about 3 days and I reach out to 400 or 500 people. And I like to come up with powerful one-liners. So one of the things that I like to do, I don't do a whole bunch of conference calls or Zoom calls, but I do come up with powerful one-liners, and I'll reach out to 400 or 500 people in those 3 days. And I'll say something like, hey, I'm getting ready to do something. I can't give you all this information yet. I'm really excited about it. I'm finishing putting it all together. When it's ready, would you like some information? Because I want to talk to people that want to talk to me. So if I give someone a quick little one-liner like, hey, I got something coming and I can't give you anything yet, but when it's ready, would you want some information from me? Like, you want me to reach out to you again? If not, that's okay. Then let me know. And typically what's going to happen when you reach out to 400 or 500 people, you're going to have a couple hundred people that say, yeah, sure. What is it? Tell me about it when you have some information, right? So I go through 3 phases. Phase number 1 is just that warm-up phase where I'm reaching out, I'm friend requesting new people, I'm reaching out to new people, and I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm about to do. Would you want some information when it's ready? And in that warm-up phase, you're going to really start to build up a huge pipeline. In my first couple of years in network marketing, I recruited like 4 people. It was horrible. Last month, I personally recruited 70 people myself and 30 customers. And it wasn't because extra influential skills. It was just because I condensed this massive amounts of time and numbers into just a short period of time. The second phase is when I officially launch. So when I officially launch, I like to have like an information pack together, whether it's like, hey, this is my Facebook group link, this is my video, this is a quick 2-minute video, and this is a link to my website, whatever it is. You can come up with it. I put it together, and then I go reach out to those 300 people that just said, yeah, I do want more information when it's all ready. And then I reach out again and I say, hey, that thing I told you about, I have an information pack ready for you. Let me know if you still want it. Because I still want to ask them if they still want it. I don't want to just blast it out to people that aren't going to take a look at it. Maybe out of those 300 people, 200 say, yeah, I want to take a look at it. And I send that info pack out as fast as possible, get people into the information, get people into the videos, into the Facebook groups, and get them to look at what I'm looking at. And then the third phase, of course, after I officially launch, I spend another 3-4 days blitzing an entire new list of 400 or 500 people and that's when I say, hey, we've been experiencing this for the past 48 hours. It's exciting. There's a lot of people looking at the information. Would you like to take a look? And then I once again send it out so in a matter of like, probably 2-week period, I personally go out and expose about 1,200 people, 1,300 people, and that's what leads to fast momentum, at least for me. And I'm not saying that's something that everyone's going to duplicate. I'm just talking about if we're launching your team, if your back's against the wall, you really got to condense the time frame. You really got to go produce those numbers.
I love that. There's so much to go on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of fun here. We got to get to 30. If we don't get to 30, then there's 0 qualification, and 30 needs to come from this live. So we have to have the 30, and I'll announce the winner during the live. So if we can get to 30 total shares, then what I'll do is I have Run with Rob. Some of you guys have heard of it. That's where I do one-on-one coaching, daily voice message coaching. So you have to sign up for 6 months. Well, this I'll just give you 2 weeks for free. Don't have to sign up or anything like that. And I'll coach you on a daily basis. So usually I do less. It's like a week or so. So you've got to do that. You got to share it, and then you got to comment, share below to have an entry. So Ricky, the question that's been asked here by my good friend Dina, who I was able to interview recently, and she had phenomenal feedback. I mean, she's a 6-figure earner from traditional business, successful network marketing. She wants to know where are these people coming from? Number one, where are these people coming from? Right? Because you're starting from scratch, and a lot of people feel like, I've burned through my whole list. Who am I going to talk to? What am I going to say? Right? Like my credibility is done. It's over. And so people are asking like different things like this, like whether you're relaunching in your company, right? Or you're new to network marketing, whatever it is. And how are you qualifying this list? How are you qualifying who? And then those 2 things I want you to think about. And then I want to just edify what Ricky was saying there. He said, when your back's against the wall. And what he's talking about is that principle of creating urgency. And too many people misinterpret that And what they end up doing is it's always later, later, later. It's always someday, someday. And the problem is when it's later or someday, 2, 3, 4 weeks or a month from now, you just devalued your products. You just devalued your services. You just devalued your time. You just devalued your opportunity. Because if it's that big and it's that important, it's, hey, today or tomorrow. And he's creating the urgency, not panic. But then also what he said is he wants to work with people that want to work with him. Amateurs convince, experts sift and sort. He's sifting and sorting. He's not just, oh my goodness, like, hey, please, 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 I promise you it's so worth it. He's not. And so you've got to learn to act like the $1 million version of you, even though that may not be your goal. Even though you may say, I want to make an extra $400 or $500 a month. Just think of that as acting like the best version of you. What would your tone be like? Your posture, the words that you would use. So those are the 2 questions that come up so far. Any other questions you guys have, feel free to ask. But really, really good questions from Dina. And we'll keep going. I love this. Launch process, duplication, good stuff.
No, and you know what? One of the things that I love doing also is I love to pretend, like I have like invisible mentors, right? Like I love Earl Nightingale. I love Brian Tracy. So sometimes I will literally close my eyes. And when I make an invitation, I almost feel like I'm a combination of Brian Tracy. Not that I am, right? Like I'm far from that, but I put myself in this posture, this confidence, as if, hey, Brian Tracy's right here with me. We're both looking at this opportunity. You got to take a look, right? And so when the confidence is different, it's just, it comes from a different level, right? And I've never been the guy that's like always, oh, I hope these 10 people that I talk to make me rich, right? So where are these people coming from? I think I saw you post a while ago, I think it was a couple of years ago, Rob, you said something like, dig your well before you're thirsty or something like that, right?
That's from T. Harv Eker. Or
right.
not, no, from McKay.
Okay, yeah, Harvey McKay. So, you know, what I see a lot of people do is like they disappear when they quit their MLM and then they reappear when they join a new one. And it's like there's no consistency in continuing to build a reputation for yourself. So, you know, this past year, in 2019, I'll tell you guys what, it was, every year has gotten better for me financially, but this past year was the most challenging year of my life. A lot of things happened. And even though it took me out of the game for almost 6-7 months, I never stopped growing my database. I'm very passionate about continuing to grow a database. In the year 2019, I made an extra 824 new contacts that know me, I know them, and I could pick up the phone and say, hey, I got something for you. No matter what strategy you're using, guys, whether it's your friend requesting 3 new people a day. The reason why I gravitated a lot towards network marketing or towards Facebook was because when I was 20 years old and I was single, I didn't have a car, I dropped out of college, and I didn't have a job. I had no credibility. So I used Facebook as like my environment to say, wow, I can be anyone I want to be online. And so I started to really mass friend request a lot of people, getting to know a lot of people, getting out there. And I'm typically more of a very shy individual. So when Voice Messenger came out, it was like a game changer. I was like, whoa, I don't even have to be there and be shy and be all awkward. I can just send you a quick little voice note. And so where are these people coming from? Everywhere. If I had to go start over again in a different country, I do the same strategy, whether it's Facebook or something else. I'm always going to be very quick to build that database. And maybe you're not that good from the get-go, but over time, you really develop that skill. I have people saying, gosh, I spend so much time just building these relationships. And I'm like, I don't. Like, I'm very fast at making new friends, getting that reputation, and just having quality friendships. And it just continues to grow and grow and grow, because the only thing you're in control of is yourself. You're not in control if your team decides to walk away next month. What happens then? Go rebuild that thing again, right? With brand new people. So I'm never dependent on my prospects. I'm never even dependent on my team. I'm just dependent in my personal productivity, the people that I meet, and the activity that I take every single day. And then the last thing is she talked about qualifying.
And before you go into that, I just want to say real quick, did you see how vulnerable and real he was? Like, do you know how many times leaders, it's like the best year ever, even when they got their butts kicked? And he just shared how he just had, right, a tough year, but then he's talking about now how he's just sucking it up and he's crushing it. But I love that. I just think that's so important. And then what he said in there, I mean, some of you guys have read my first book, The Game of Networking, which is all on that. It was just all on how you network. And so my analogy was, build your ark before it rains, like Noah. And too many times people are like, when they need something, it's like, oh, now I need, and they come off as takers. It's not fake chit chat. It's just being a good human being. You don't need to say, hey, how's the weather? Right? You just, you find people, whether it's on social media, online, offline, wherever, you're doing that, and you're finding people as you go, which if you guys haven't gotten the game of conquering, get it. I promise it will help your business. But I just wanted to point that out. I love how real and vulnerable. I think we're at 30 shares. So Ricky, you're gonna have to remind me, and maybe I'll help me choose how we choose. We'll close our eyes. We'll have everyone just comment and do it in a little bit. I'll have you keep going though. We got Ricky's gonna crush this the next 3 minutes. I'm gonna let him talk. Go.
The last question that she asked was just how do you qualify? Honestly, it was just one of those things that, like, if someone always walked with a qualification like checklist, I wouldn't be in this industry, because it would have been like, oh, look at that poor brown kid on the side of the road walking home. Like, why am I gonna recruit him? Right? I'm not bringing race into this, but like, come on, like, hey, he's got no experience, he's got no car, he's a college dropout. Yeah, not part of the qualification list. So move on to the next one. You would have missed out on a whole bunch of money because you didn't recruit me. And so I'm not saying don't qualify either, right? But my qualification process is different. It's like what I explained earlier. I only want to talk to people that want to talk to me. And again, I'm not going to go friend request someone that has like 2 friends on Facebook and has a picture of their dog or whatever and has no common sense of wanting to be on Facebook, right? Like, but when it comes down to who I'm reaching out to, my mindset is I have 0 qualifications. Why? Because I've taken people from trailer homes and built them to 6-figure incomes, right? And that's true. Like, I've taken people that make no money and they signed up for free and we helped them make a boatload of money, right? And so I've learned that you can't qualify. I mean, you can be careful who you recruit. Obviously, I don't like to recruit just anybody. I'm very selective as well. But when it's crunch time, I want to give everyone the opportunity to tell me no, or everyone the opportunity to tell me yes. And then that's how I kind of do my qualification.
And wouldn't you say too, I mean, one of the things that I always say, I'm taking notes here because anytime you get an idea, you got to take notes, is, and then we're going to do the whole contest, but it's every dud knows a stud. Now I'm trying to use caution when I say that. Dud doesn't mean who they are as a human being. We're talking about their skill set inside of network marketing. And if they know you, they know someone like you. You're not sponsoring an individual, you're sponsoring a circle of influence. And your goal is to see them for what they can be, not for what they are right now. And that's why I just love how you just said that, stop qualifying, because too many people, you know what they do? They're just like, oh, he's broke, he sucks, like I can't talk to him. Oh, she's way too rich, I can't talk to her, she's too rich. Oh, he's way too busy. Oh, she just doesn't, she has way too much time in her hands, she's just watching Netflix. It's like too rich, too poor, too busy, not busy. It's like everything. And so you got to start in your mind thinking of all the reasons why they need this. Oh, they're super wealthy, they absolutely should do this because they're probably getting hit up every single day by people. And now they can help them out. They should absolutely do this because they understand leverage and they understand credibility. And if they're too poor, right, they absolutely, this is something that they need that can help them give that vehicle. So let's do this. Anyone who shared, we'll go back and check, make sure you shared. Comment below. You can comment anything. You can say yes. You can say hello. You can say blah, 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 blah. You can say anything. There's a little bit of a delay here, but you guys comment whatever you want. And then Ricky's going to tell me when to stop. And anytime between the next, we'll say 7 seconds and 15 seconds while I'm talking, I'm going to be like this. I'm not looking down. My finger's right here. Okay. And then I'm going to choose one. I know if I choose one of the people that went to my last mastermind, people are going to think I did that on purpose. I'm not looking. I can tell Ricky, I'm going to tell you, actually, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to look that way. I don't know who you're going to choose, and you're just going to point and pick somebody as we go. But I hope you guys found huge value in this. Make sure you say thanks to Ricky as well, because when these guys come on for free and just share their secret sauce tips with all you guys, like that's legit. That's awesome. Like that's so cool. So Ricky, 3, 2, 1, choose someone.
Okay, right now though, I can't see anyone on my end. Can you just kind of point?
Okay, you go now. You go for me. 3, 2, 1. I'll choose someone.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we got Jody Walsh Rader.
Jody.
Jody, message me. Say I won. Run with Rob. We'll do these, guys. I'm going to start doing contests every week because they're just so fun. You guys are so awesome to believe in us and trust us and love this to share it. And we're going to start doing this. So I appreciate it. So message me. Everyone who lost, blame Ricky. Don't blame me. It's his fault, not mine. But Rick, any last parting words you want to give to everybody? Because we're going to have to get on and do this again. This is awesome.
Yeah, the last thing I'll tell people is like take every emotion out of it. Like you have to do that. I mean, I get people all the time. I'm scared to do this or that, and you really have to disconnect emotionally and not care if it's a no, and also not care if it's a yes. Because if you care too much when someone says yes and they end up not joining, like you're defeated as well. And so I always give the analogy of like God doesn't say, "Hey, go build a tree." You're like, "How the heck do I build a tree?" No, he just says plant the seeds. That's all you got to do is plant the seeds, man. And if you're planting the seeds, the forest will come, right? And so if you take the emotion out of it, imagine if you say, "Oh, you have to build a tree." You're like sweating bullets. Like, how do I do that? You're doubting yourself. Can I do it? No, don't worry about that. The forest will come in your organization. Just plant the seeds to take the emotions out of it. And follow Rob Sperry, of course.
I love it. Our highs are too high. Our lows are too low, right? It's like we're drama kings and queens. Whether it's internally or externally. I know I was. I didn't say anything to my wife in the outset. She's like, "Is it going to work?" I'm like,
I know, right?
And after working 80 hours a week, and my check was $400. And then inside, I was like, is this freaking thing going to work? Like, this is
Yeah,
cool, right? But on the outside, I'm committed. On the
it's
inside,
all good, babe. I got it.
We all go through it. It's called the Bridge of Tears. You got to get through it. You got to get to the other side. So I got to go hop on. Leanne, I know you're on this live. I'm going to go hop on your live with you. But thanks all of you for tuning in. Ricky, I appreciate you for getting on and making time. I know you're crazy busy launch mode right now. Appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Bye.